Greetings everybody, you're with Gothatfunk, and this is a video response to Nykytyne2 and his duo on cosmic consciousness. Nick, this is a subject I have a little bit of familiarity with, having done quite a lot of research and study on it due to personal experiences that I was trying to understand. Now, everything I'm about to say, I am straight out admitting is my opinion. It's pure speculation. I don't expect anyone to believe it's credible. It's just, you know, what goes on in Paul's head, basically. But yes, I have it through meditation and other experiences that we've already discussed. I have had some connection with what I would call cosmic consciousness, or unity consciousness is a better way of putting it. And in meditation, this can be quite overwhelming. And in fact, I really can't sustain it. It does overwhelm me. As regards other experiences with cosmic consciousness, it's very similar. And what I think is implied, certainly in my own case anyway, when I use those types of phrases, cosmic consciousness simply means to me that there is a presence. You can call it spirit if you want. I don't necessarily think that's even appropriate, because it has all sorts of cultural connotations which mean different things in different parts of the world. But I would just say a presence that pervades matter and non-matter, that is everywhere simultaneously and is continuously one and whole the entire time. And this presence does have an awareness. Do I think this presence has a directed will? No, I do not think that. I think it's utterly free from any kind of constraints, such as will or personality or anything like that. And in a sense, by virtue of that description, you could also say that it doesn't exist. And yet the presence, for me, is perceptible under certain circumstances. I'm going to leave a link in the sidebar to my very favorite scripture in the world. And before you run away thinking, why the fuck would he want me to read some scripture? This is Eastern scripture. It's a very obscure Hindu Gita called the Abhidhamma Gita. And you can read the entire thing on that link right there. It's 8 very short chapters of verse. This one that I'm linking to doesn't have any sort of footnotes or anything, so it might be a little bit hard to follow if you don't already know anything about Eastern culture. But basically what the Abhidhamma Gita is, or attempts to be, it attempts to be the divine describing itself. Now, I've never come across any other kind of scripture where the divine, God if you want to call it that, is trying to actually tell you what it is and what it isn't, what it does and what it doesn't do. And it also does connect with my sort of interpretation of my own experiences as regards unity consciousness. Unity consciousness can take different textures and stuff. I mean, I'm not going to bore you with my own personal experiences, because like I said, you wouldn't think it was credible anyway. I wouldn't, you know, it's no more credible to you than my dreams. And that's fine, you know. But I do have to say that I do believe, I guess, that such a thing exists. And I also believe that there's an awful lot more to human existence than, you know, our biology. As regards consciousness, you see, I think the problem is we use consciousness in a different sense, certainly in the West, than they do in the East. Consciousness with like a small c basically represents what you mean to say when you're saying what is produced, self-awareness produced in the brain as a result of biochemistry. And that is certainly an aspect of consciousness. But I personally believe that consciousness with a capital C is what I was talking about before, the presence of consciousness which pervades all of reality. Now, if you do have a look at the Abhidhamma Gita, and I sure hope you do, it's great to read, because it's a very logical sort of deconstruction of what it would have to mean to be completely non-dual in character, which if God is everywhere and is all things and at the same time can't be all things, etc., it's really well written, and I think it's worth a look at. Just from an intellectual point of view. Anyhow, when you talk about speculation being a good thing, you know, this is exactly how I look at my own experiences. I have the only thing I really doubt about it is whether it'll ever happen again to me, you know. And if it doesn't happen again to me, fair enough. It happened to me already, so it's all good. One of my own personal theories or conjectures, I suppose, is that consciousness with a small c has evolved, and one of the byproducts of that, or one of the abilities of that, is our capacity to perceive consciousness with a capital C. I don't want to call that the reason behind evolution, because that does imply a directed will behind existence, which I don't think exists. I don't think it exists, although I'm open to the possibility of it, but I don't think it exists. That's certainly not my perception. My perception is it's completely uncontained by any kind of definition. Its only defining characteristic is that it has no defining characteristics. Anyway, that's pretty much all I wanted to say about the small c and big C consciousness. That's all I've got to say on the matter. This has Got That Funk. May all your ups and downs be ups.